Hi everyone, it's Ed from Runnable, and this morning I want to talk about one of my favourite shoes for just going easy and ticking through the miles, and that's the New Balance Fresh Foam More V5, this Goliath tank of a shoe. But it's a shoe that I really think ticks a lot of boxes, and we'll just go on to talk a little bit about the shoe and how it feels to run in the shoe. But first and foremost, let's go through, for those that know nothing about this shoe, let's go through some stats around the shoe. So, it's a heavy shoe. There's no getting around that. It's 320 grams in my UK size 9. So, yes, it is quite a heavy shoe, but actually you don't feel that weight as dramatically as you might expect on the run, and I think that's mainly because of the geometry of this shoe, and that you can see it's got a nice rocker there, and we'll go on to talk about how it feels to run in the midsole of the shoe in a bit, but just bear that in mind. If you've got in your mind, oh, it's too heavy, I'll pose some counter arguments to that in a bit. Okay, you've got a stack height of 43 millimeters in the heel. It looks bigger, and that's because it's got quite large high sidewalls to keep your foot locked in. So this area here is actually a sidewall, and there's sidewalls all the way down the side here. So it keeps your foot nice and centered, so there's less of this movement of your foot, which can cause ankle issues and foot ligament issues. So it's a stable neutral shoe because of that. There are some other stability features that I'll mention in a bit, but bear that in mind, that it's actually, it may look gigantic, but your foot sinks into the shoe a little bit. Okay, and you've got a 39 millimeter stack height in the forefoot, so for me that's ideal. It's really nice and cushioned in the forefoot, giving a 4 millimeter drop. So it's quite a low drop. It is cushioned and it is soft, but it's not it's compliant without being mushy. So you do sink a little bit into the foam, but I would say it does feel around about a 4 millimeter drop. It doesn't feel less than that to me. Okay, so there are some stats. In terms of the upper, you've got this nice woven mesh upper, really comfortable. There is one downside that I'll talk about in a minute. We'll get there, don't worry. Plush tongue, really thick. You can cinch the laces nice and tight. The laces are fine. They're not the best laces, but they're by no means the worst laces. You've got a semi-rigid heel counter, more rigid than not. It goes up quite a long way, so anyone that have sensitive Achilles, you might have some issues with the shoe. I do have sensitive Achilles, but actually I find the shoe is fine. And it's got a nice, not overly padded heel collar, but there is some padding there. Same with on the heel. All in all, a very comfortable upper. There is one issue I have with this upper. It's got very low volume in the forefoot. If you're one of these people that, like me, who've got fat toes, you may feel your top of your toes getting brushed up against the material here. Thankfully, it's quite a soft material, so it isn't a massive problem in this shoe, but that's something to bear in mind. If you don't like that sensation, that feeling, you may want to look elsewhere from this shoe. If you turn it the other way, you can see it's got quite a wide forefoot area. It's quite a wide shoe in general, if you have a look. So those with wide feet, as long as they don't need a huge volume, I think you'll be fine in this shoe. New Balance, I think, do a very good job providing for people with wide feet in general. And you can see, while we've got it this way around, you can see the sole flare here and here, which helps with the stability of the shoe. So when we start to talk about the outsole, which we'll do in a minute, you can see just how wide and big a landing pad the shoe has got. So that's pretty much the upper. The only thing else I'd like to say is I quite like the look of it. To be honest, this grey and black I think works really well together, and this time of year I think it's particularly nice to have darker coloured daily trainers. In this case, Max Cushion Daily Trainer. So that's the upper. The outsole, the black rubber is obviously the grippy part, and then this is exposed fresh foam here, the grey. I've had no issues with wear at all. It's very grippy. I've taken this on some icy runs actually, and it's performed well. I've taken this actually on some trails as well, and it was very, very stable. And part of the reason for that, a main reason, is how massive this footprint is. Okay, it's one of my biggest shoes in terms of a base to land on. And for me, with this massive wedge in the forefoot here, landing pad in the forefoot, which is bigger than my hand, but it's really a stable shoe. Despite that 43 millimeters in stack height and 39 in the forefoot, I find this one of my more stable shoes to run in, which is quite remarkable, really. And full marks to whoever's designed this shoe, to be able to produce a shoe with that much cushion. I'm getting a bit excited there. That much cushion, but still remain very stable. It's a stable neutral shoe that moves more towards the stability side than the neutral side, I feel. And it's along with the Hurricane 24. It's one of my more stable shoes that I own. And if I'm ever going to do a run where I know I'm going to be hitting some light trails, it could be a bit slippy, might need something so I'm cushioned but I'm landing securely, I would pick something like this. Okay, so the outsole, very good outsole. Again, was to put like with the upper, I would give it 4 out of 5 because of the volume. Outsole, I would give it something similar, 4 out of 5. It's pretty good. It's not quite up there with Puma Grip or Continental rubber or the new rubber that's used in the Pro 4, but it's pretty damn good all the same. And then the midsole, it's an amazing compliant foam without being too soft. Those that are worried that looking at this that would be too mushy and too soft, don't be. There is some compliance with the foam. It's quite, because of how much foam there is there, it's fairly stiff. You can't bend it very well. But it is quite a nice cushioned soft ride, even though it's not something that I would call mushy or soft and mushy. It's not that. It's kind of soft, compliant, but at the same time it has that structured feel that keeps you feeling secure and stable. Great midsole. I love the rocker, I love the geometry. It just keeps me ticking over the miles. I've not taken this past 10 miles yet, so there's a caveat there. I'm going to do a long run soon in this shoe to find out how it kind of deals with over the 10-mile mark. So maybe 16, 17 miles in the shoe. I'll let you know how it feels. My suspicions is it'll be fine because of the rock. It'll keep me flowing. With the amount of foam, I don't expect this to bottom out. What I would say is if it was a particularly hilly run, that type of thing, the weight might eventually start nagging on in terms of me feeling like I need some assistance. The weight might start dragging a little bit, but on a flat terrain, I think this would be a great long run shoe as well. So that's really all I want to say about this shoe. I mean, I took it on an easy run today. And I think that's the sweet spot. Easy runs, somewhere where you just want to tick over the mileage. It's a really nice ride. It's rockered, like I said, so you get this nice, you land and you flow through your stride very easily in this shoe. It's an easy shoe to run in, feels great, highly recommend it. You can get this, I think it retailed around 140, but you can get this as low as £90. I've seen it in various outlets, discounted quite often in the other colorway to this one actually. But yeah, if you can get it at 90, absolute bargain. I would say to anyone looking for a highly cushioned, stable, neutral, enjoyable to run in, easy day shoe, that's got to be right up there with the likes of the Skyward X and shoes of that ilk, Nova Blast, etc, etc. That's all I want to say now. Hope you found this useful. Watch the run footage, and then in the comments please let me know if you've run in this shoe or you're interested in buying this shoe. I will endeavour to answer any questions you might have, and if you've got anything else that you run in, I don't know whether it's like the Puma Mag Max or something similar that you think is a better shoe than this, please let me know. Alright, I'll see you later. Bye bye. Hi, it's Ed from Runnable. So start of another busy week. both at work and obviously marathon training, so it's my week 2. Hope you're all well, hope you all had a great weekend. Did the running that you wanted to, and also got to do some social stuff. It's good to try and keep social. I know January is a difficult month, it really is. I feel it as well. I feel like I've got major vitamin D deficiencies going on that make me feel a bit depressed a lot in January. And the weather's cold, it's a bit grim, although the weekend in London was actually quite nice. It was nice and crisp and sunny. So it's easy to lose focus in January and kind of give up. So my advice for you, if you want to take it, you don't have to, just to keep going, push through the month, push through January, February, and then March you start to see things in a different light. Things start growing, leaves start coming on trees again, blossom comes out, things start to feel like things are moving again. So just push through these 2 tough months, both in life and in running, and in springtime you'll be ready for those goals. So today, with that in mind, I've had an epic fail this morning, got up too late, and now I'm having to play catch up, so I'm going to have to run at lunchtime today. But this morning, I'm going to do a quick run, just to get my legs moving. And I have got one of my favourite shoes of the year, of last year, and this year probably, the New Balance Fresh Foam More V5. Fresh Foam X, I should say. Amazing, comfy, cushioned shoe, lovely ride, not too expensive. You can get it in some places as low as £90. I've got this nice black and grey colourway, so it's good for this time of year. And all in all, great shoe. If you want something that's max cushion, that's going to allow you to tick over the miles, feel legs really refreshed and cushioned, and something that's going to be your friend for these long, tough sessions where you're just trotting through. A bit arsey. You're a bit, going through the miles and not really necessarily enjoying it, but you're wanting something on your feet that's going to take the impact. Then these are great. Anyway, rabbling now, talking shit again. I'll see you soon. Bye bye. So, got my Fresh Foam More V5 on. I'm going up this hill. So they're quite a heavy shoe, these shoes, but they've got a nice rocker on the front, so it doesn't feel as heavy when you're running them. They feel nice and cushioned. Yeah, so probably not the best shoe for going up steep hills like this one, but actually you get the benefits when you're coming over the other side and you're going down the hill. Such really nice cushioning, really nice and kind of bouncy without being uncontrollable. Just a really nice shoe, full stop. I really like the rocker on this one. Feels kind of effortless to run in this shoe. It's one of my favourite shoes, to be honest. One that I would reach to quite a lot. It's kind of just, you kind of just set yourself, hit a certain pace, and this shoe just ambles along with you. Nothing out of the ordinary, except for the max cushion. Your legs feel so well protected in this shoe, and I think that's one of the things with these new lots of max cushion daily trainers. We shouldn't underestimate how the shoe companies have worked very hard at producing something with a huge stack that's obviously going to be nice and cushioned to run in, but also fairly stable. And this shoe I would class as quite a stable shoe, stable neutral I would class it, because it's got some serious sidewalls here I can feel when I'm running this shoe, and it's not uncomfortable, it's not messing with my arch or anything, it's just making sure that my foot stays kind of locked, so it doesn't move from side to side, which it might do if they weren't there because of how compliant, bouncy, soft this foam is. But again, I say this a lot. When I use the word soft, I don't mean that it's really soft and mushy. I just mean that it's a nice, soft ride. There is some firmness in this to make it a safe ride. Right, just pop into the toilet, so I'm not going to film. You'll be glad to know. Okay, all done. Careful not to get garroted by these ropes. Yeah, I like to start the week with something nice and comfortable on, like these shoes. I don't like to do anything too taxing on a Monday. Just like to kind of get some miles in. I'm going to try over the course of today. Lunchtime will have to be my longer run. I'm going to try and do about 10 miles. Maybe it might have to be a little less than that today because of, I haven't done enough in the morning. But yeah, I'll try and do about that. I'll probably use just these shoes and nothing too taxing. I won't do any strides or hills or, major hills anyway. I might do the hill I've just done. And just start the week off just getting the legs used to like mileage again. And then tomorrow I will get up early, Ed. You will get up early. It's still frosted over, look. Not as cold today, and I'm missing the frosty grass actually. It doesn't look anywhere near as nice when it's like this. But anyway, stop moaning, Ed. Yeah, tomorrow I'll do my long run and try and do sort of 27k or something like that. Edge towards that magic 20-mile mark, which I think is around 32k. My maths hasn't failed me. So, yeah, Monday is just about getting the mileage in, taking it easy, getting the legs moving again for the week ahead, setting yourself up for the week ahead. I like to break in life in general. I like to break things down into little chunks. So with the marathon, obviously I've got 16 weeks, less now, but this is a weekly chunk of that 16 weeks. So I prepare again for this week and don't think too far ahead. The only thing I do is book some races because they get sold out. So I booked a half marathon at the start of February and one at the start of March, and I may well book one last one. Oh, sorry, I've also booked a 20-mile run in Milton Keynes, and that is I think the 22nd of March, almost exactly a month before the marathon itself, which I like to do. So that's a 20-mile race. That gives me a real good idea of how it's going to go for London. So I've consistently done that, and where my times in that race have been good, it's normally a good indicator that I'm going to run well. So it was not so good before Boston, but a bit better before London last year, that 20-mile race. So I had an idea that London was going to go a bit better than Boston, and it did. So I like these races because they're good indicators of how it's going to go. I don't go absolutely flat out though. There is a real risk, particularly if you're going 20 miles, that you're going to injure yourself. If you're really running it like you would a marathon.
you know, you want to go near marathon pace, of course, but don't try and push the boundaries too much in these races. So the half marathons, I'm looking to try and go under 120, and I think I can do that in the next marathon, maybe the one after. And that will mean, in theory, you know, when I get to the halfway point in London, I'll have a bit to spare for my goal, which is trying to get as close to 250 as possible, which would mean shaving 5.5 minutes off my PB, which is a lot. When you get to these kind of points, the minutes are quite a lot, actually. Seems ridiculous to say something that takes almost 3 hours, but yeah, minutes can mean a hell of a lot, actually. And to be able to get there, I need to do these miles, and having a shoe like the More V5 at my disposal is priceless, because it'll allow me to do these kind of runs in comfort, cushioned, and actually enjoy them, which is the main thing, right? You're doing your marathon training, which should be fun. So if you're ever doing your marathon training and it's not fun, you need to reset. You need to look at what you're doing and reset, because you're not going to get through your block if you're not enjoying it. And part of the reset is a mental thing, right? You've got to reset your mind and say, look, why is it that I'm not enjoying this? What is it? Is it the cold mornings? Is it hard to balance with my life? All those kind of things. And then instead of giving up, look for creative solutions. Like we've talked about on this channel already, break your long runs up if you have to. Like run to the shops and back, do a bit of mileage. Run to the gym and back, do a bit of mileage. Run to work and back, do even more mileage. Fit running around your life. Doesn't have to take over your life, right? On this marathon block, you can do it. It's just not easy, particularly of those of us who've got lots of responsibilities, job, kids. You might be caring for someone who's ill, you know, all sorts of things. You have to sometimes get creative with what you're doing, and I know I have to in order to get the mileage. And that's about all I want to say for now. See you in a bit. Bye.